Welcome back to the channel. Today's video was supposed to be a weekend at my parents' vlog. Guess who hated every single clip that she was able to record? One thing I'm not gonna do is like put out content that I don't love or that I'm not proud of. That's what it was. I don't know. A lot of it I think had to do with the fact that I'm still very weird about recording in front of others. Like getting B-roll at a bookstore or something like that is okay. I can do that. Like I have some clips from Ollie's Bargain Outlet, which is a place that my niece took me to get some like really cheap books. So like I could do that, but like me recording in someone else's house and like they can hear me talking to myself at the camera is like, I'm not there yet, guys. We're just not there yet. So we're not there yet. So yeah, that video flopped. It was really about how many books I could read while I was at my parents' for the weekend. We left on Friday and came back yesterday, Sunday night. I just wanted to see how many books I could read, and I was really excited. And I thought it was going to turn out really good, but like that's what I get for not watching the clips back after I recorded them and just like thinking that we'll be fine once we get home and stuff. No. But anyways, I managed to read 3 books while I was at my parents'. 2 of them were on my Kindle. I read The Cabin at the End of the World. I got that recommendation from a mutual here on YouTube, actually. I want to say the name correctly, but I also tend to say names with like a Spanish inflection or accent. Mila talked about The Cabin at the End of the World. So I started the book and I was like, this is actually kind of like my worst nightmare ever. I've never been to a cabin, but I keep saying to my friends and my family how I want to go to a cabin for the weekend and just like disconnect and read a whole bunch of books. And then I read that and I was like, I'm all set. I'll just stay here on this main road that I live on. 'Cause no, in my mind, it felt like a horror book. I know it was supposed to be like a thriller or something like that. It felt quite horrific. The movie I ended up watching when I think I was like maybe 50 or 60% into the book on my Kindle. The movie wasn't that much less weird than the book was, but I think that I liked how the movie... No, I don't think I did. I think I liked the book better, actually. Now that I'm like talking through it, I think I enjoyed the book more. I wasn't expecting that. And it happened, and then I was like really sad. Not gonna lie. I was actually really sad. I do feel like the main characters, when the thing happened, I'm not giving any spoilers. If you know, you know. But when the thing happened, I do feel like the characters' reactions were like kind of underwhelming. I don't know. It was really weird. I really liked Wen. I really, really liked Wen in both the movie and the book. I enjoyed her character quite a bit. The other people were really scary. They were like really, really scary. And I feel like there were certain things that were trying to be tied together that kind of, I don't know. I would recommend the book if you're looking for like a trippy, weird, kind of creepy, scary, mostly thriller book. I would definitely recommend. I did enjoy my time with both the book and the movie. I'm just not crazy about them. Like, I probably won't think about them too much after this, if I'm being honest. But they weren't bad, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I read that. That was really short, I feel like. That wasn't very long at all. And then I also had read Strange Sweetness. I think it's by Tahisi B. Williams, if I'm saying the name correctly. I also read that. I feel like I was reading that book for 362 and a half days. It just felt like really drawn out. And the crazy part is I was enjoying myself. I liked the book. I liked the characters. Carmen, the FMC, took a very long time to kind of grow on me. I think I was at like 70% when I started to feel like maybe I could like Carmen. And it's because I started to see more of her and like her history and her motivations. Up until that point, Carmen to me was very grating. And I think it's because she reminded me of someone that I used to know in my 20s that I thankfully I'm not in contact with. And there's a reason for that. So she just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, even though once you get to know why, it makes her a little bit more likable, but still not my favorite character. I loved the side characters though. Like I really enjoyed the side characters. I enjoyed the dynamics between the characters and when they were all interacting with each other. I was having a great time. Theo, the MMC, is definitely one of those like really amazing MMCs that you're like, that's the blueprint right there. My issue became how long I spent reading the book. That was a really big, like, long book, I should say, because I read it on my Kindle. I never held it in my hand. Absolutely love the cover. Again, I liked the characters. I like the dynamic. I like the themes in the story. I just don't understand why I had to read it for 3 years for that. Like, it felt like it was never going to end a little bit. And then it got to a point where I was like, oh my gosh, if it ends right here, I'm going to love it. I'm actually really going to enjoy it. It'll be worth having read this book for 4 days straight, basically. But then it kept going. So my thing is, I really still liked the book, and I would recommend the book. It's a contemporary, like, new adult college romance type story. I definitely recommend. If you like that, go for it. My thing is, don't read it for the ending. Read it for everything else, I think. Yeah, the ending just came really late. I feel like we could have ended the book maybe like 150 pages earlier, and it would have been a banger. It would have been 5 stars. But then it just kept going, and I was like, oh, okay, we're still doing this. Okay, cool. So yeah, didn't dislike either of those 2 books. They just were not my favorite. And I will say, I started the weekend off with Strange Sweetness, actually. That's the one that I read. I started it before I left, and then I read it in the car, read it at my parents', and finished it there. And then I picked up The Cabin at the End of the World, because Strange Sweetness is obviously a romance book. So it's very heavy on romance, those developing relationships. It was also really heavy on the spice, and the spice wasn't bad. I thought the spice was in good taste. It was done well. It was just a lot of it. And that could purely be because the book was so long. You guys know me. I'll start skimming. If I really don't like what's going on, I'll start to skim to see if I can get past it. So when I finished that, I was good. I was like all spiced out. I was like, I got my fix. I'm good to go. That's why I picked up the Paul Tremblay book. And then when that ended, again, like, didn't dislike it, but kind of underwhelmed. I decided to finish my read of 7 Days in June. Yeah, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This was fantastic. I don't know if it's me being too hard on the books that I'm reading, but I was really enjoying 7 Days in June. I was really enjoying it. It's a beautiful love story between 2 authors, and they've secretly been writing about each other this whole time based on, not that their stories are their memories, but they're writing these characters based on how they remembered each other from a fling, let's say, that they had when they were in high school. When it comes to romance, like, I don't need to be traumatized every time I read a romance book, you know? And we were doing so well. And I was really enjoying it. And I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be 5 stars. This will be the banger. And then something really traumatizing happened. And I was like, what the fuck? And the way that the traumatizing thing occurred made me really, really, really dislike the MMC. Like, I was, what are they saying now? I was 10 toes down or whatever for these characters. And then that thing happened, and the MMC just, I had a hard time rooting for him at that point. But I mean, even despite that, it's a fantastic book. The writing is beautiful. I feel like she really created her story around her characters. She didn't just make a story and then insert characters, you know? As you guys know, I say all the time, I'm a character-driven reader. So for me, stories like this where the characters are first and then the story kind of develops around them, I think that's beautiful. I think that's my type of book, right? And I was really enjoying it. I had a great time. I would still 100% recommend it. It's a fantastic romance. It's really great. I don't think the spice is too crazy. I skimmed it, though, but I don't feel like I skimmed long when we got to spice scenes at the end. I just, again, like, it's that need to incorporate these shock factors in order to what? Because the story was beautiful, and I loved it, and nothing occurred after that shock factor that all of a sudden made me think this is the greatest book ever written. You know what I mean? In fact, the opposite. That shock occurred, and I was like, I just wanted to read a love story. I didn't really need to be traumatized. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's me. I know it's me right now. I guess I'm just kind of going through a season where, unless I'm reading something to be shocked or to be like gasping and stuff, like, I just don't understand why it has to be in everything. I feel like it loses its, how do you say that? Like, it loses its power. Like, it's no longer as effective because I see it so often and it comes across so much. But I mean, overall, still, I had a great weekend reading. I thought the books were great. I would highly recommend all three of them for different reasons. I just don't know if maybe like, I don't know what to read. I don't know what to read at this point because I'm being so picky, so like nitpicky with the books I'm reading. So I decided after finishing 7 Days in June and feeling that kind of like dissatisfaction with the books I had read recently, I decided to take a break from reading. Obviously not like months long or anything, but I haven't read a thing today. I probably won't read until the end of the week. Because I don't know, like I want to enjoy what I'm reading. And when I start to get a little too critical of every single thing in a book, that's when I know, girl, take a step back, watch some anime, read a manga, do something else. And I think that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, it still had a really good weekend. I don't like the way that sounds. I had a really good weekend. It was fantastic. I think the books were great. Maybe this is like me encroaching on like a reading slump. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just about to hit a reading slump and I'm like, whoa, reined it in. Anyways, while I was home at my parents', my niece, my oldest niece, took me to Ollie's Bargain Outlet. And that place is basically just like a really cheap store for everything. They had a lot of stuff except for food. But I've seen people do hauls from Ollie's outlets before. And I've seen them grab like fantastic books and they all seem to be relatively cheap. I'm too chicken to go to the one in my town because my town is not very welcoming to certain types of people. So I hesitate to go to the one near me because I don't want to be annoyed with someone else. So when we went home, my niece took me to the one that is close to my parents' house, to our hometown. And I did grab some books. And okay, so I grabbed some books. I also got a snack. I think I got like a piece of candy. And I got some sheets for my bed. Altogether, my total was $38. And the sheets, I think, were like 13 or something like that, 14. So I think that's a pretty good steal for 6 books. I think that's a pretty good deal. So first up, I don't know what any of these books are about. I think I read the synopsis when I was in the store, but I don't remember them. I know this one is a thriller because it's by Sandra Brown, Thick as Thieves. 20 years ago in the dead of night, 4 unlikely allies pulled off a daring heist. By daybreak, one was in the hospital, one was in jail, one was dead, and one got away with it. So yeah, I grabbed this. I haven't had pocketbooks in forever, but this isn't the first one I've grabbed. I think I got one like a couple weekends ago. I got like a horror book at Old Navy, Barnes and Nobles, and it was a pocketbook too, so super kind of excited for this, actually. I don't know. I don't remember last time I read a Sandra Brown book. I think it was probably like in high school or something. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm excited for that. And then I got Savor It by Tara DeWitt. Tara DeWitt? I don't know. I do know that I'm in my contemporary romance bag, obviously, because it's spring, summer. Anyways, I've been wanting to read a Tara DeWitt book. I don't know why. Don't ask me because I'm not 100% sure of the reason, but I know that when I saw this there, I was like, yep, grabbing it. I know it's not the newest one that she has out. She has like a new one that literally just was released. I know it's not this one, but I'm still excited. Well, this came out in 2024, so it's not that old. It's not old at all, Angela. It's a year. Anyways, Savor It by Tara DeWitt. Drunk on Love, Jasmine Guillory. I'm not 100% sure I'm familiar with this author. I don't think I've read anything by this author. No, I don't think so. Almost positive it's a contemporary romance. Almost positive. And then, this one, I don't remember the synopses, but Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I feel like Sally Rooney writes books that are really polarizing, and I want to know where I fall. I don't know why. You ever have like that morbid curiosity of like, I want to do this just to know. No other reason. Like nothing else is going on up there. I just want to know if I like Sally Rooney or not. So I grabbed this. And this is a hardcover, and it was only $5. That's a pretty good deal. That's giving Book Outlet prices. Book Outlet does $5.99. No, even their hardcovers are like $6 or $7, right? No, they're like $8. Yeah, Ollie's isn't bad. This one is fucking creepy. Look at that. Isn't that terrifying? And the 2 dudes on the back, yeah, that'll give me nightmares. The front and back of this book. Anyways, that wasn't very nice, Angela. I think it's a thriller but there was something about it that gave me like creepy vibes. FBI agent Pendergast faces the strangest, most challenging puzzle of his career when bodies drained to the last drop of blood begin appearing in Savannah, Georgia. That's what it was. So I don't know if it's like supernatural or if it's just a really, really sick serial killer, but I picked this up. I don't know why. I'm in this like horror mood. I was going to say horror thriller, but it's not the thrillers so much. It's the horrors. I'm like, yeah, scare me. And then I'm scared. And then I'm like, what? Anyways, and then I got an Ellen Hildebrand book. They didn't have Golden Girl. That's the one I really, 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 really want to read. But they didn't have it. So I picked up The Hotel Nantucket. And I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like she has a couple of books that are all kind of like within a set, like, setting. And I think it's this Nantucket hotel place. But it doesn't say... Yeah, it says also by Ellen Hildebrand, but it doesn't have like, it doesn't group them all together or anything like that. So, finally got an Ellen Hildebrand book, and we'll see about that. That'll definitely be like an outdoorsy beach something read. Something I read outside of the house. And then there is one more book, but this is not from Ollie's. This one, I paid full price. I ordered it from Barnes, and it's Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. I have been hearing nothing but amazing things about Cara Bastone, so I don't know. It's just one of those moments like of FOMO, I guess. Like I just really, really, really want to read this book because I keep hearing good things about it. I think it's I don't know if it's lit fic or if it's contemporary romance, but I know there's romance in it. But the FMC is dealing with the grief and the grief after losing her best friend. Is that right, or is it her mom? I don't know. I'll find out and I'll tell you guys. But how do you find yourself after you lose the one you love the most? So maybe it was her mom. I don't know, but I want to read it. I really want to read it. So those are the books I got when I was at my parents'. Those are the books I read while I was at my parents'. I will try to find a way to insert some clips of Ollie's, even though it was kind of underwhelming because that part of town's not that great. That was the video that I tried to do while I was at my parents' and just messed it up. It's the nerves. I let myself get in my own way by being nervous about recording at my parents' house. Like, girl, grow up. Anyways, that's all I have for today. That's what I have for today. Let me know if you've read any of the books I've talked about. Thank you guys so much for the support, for watching the video. I really appreciate it, as always. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Happy reading.